What's up, everyone? This is Alex from Ask Alex Woodworks, and today I have this beautiful piece of walnut here, and I'm going to make some device holders. Hold tablets, phones, Nintendo Switches, things like that. I'm going to make a cool, functional piece of art that you can have in your house, and it's really going to stand out. I carry some of my products in some local stores, and I sell them online, and I thought it would be cool to take you along my process to have a new product that I'm going to test out in the market, and to show you just how many tools it takes to make something like this. So let me take you along the process, but first hit that like and subscribe button to support my channel. I bring it over to my miter saw just to shorten it up to 22 inches because that's all I need to make two device holders. I'm just making sure that the cup is facing up so when I cut it, it doesn't pinch the blade and get a possible kickback. Now I take it over to my joiner and I'm just going to flatten one side of it just so I can get a nice flat side, and then I'm going to put that flat side against my fence and get a nice straight edge on the board so that when I take it over to my table saw, I have a flat face and a flat edge to work with. And I'm just going to shorten it up to 8 inches because my joiner is only 8 inches wide. So now that I have my flat edge and flat side, I can do it safely. And then I'm just going to square up the ends with my miter saw so that it's all ready to go for my planer. And then I just plane it down and get the other side flat. And I messed up there. I didn't tighten up my hose and it came flying off and all the dust went everywhere in my shop. It happens. Now I have all four sides flat and smooth, and I'm just going to take it over to my sander, just give it a quick little sand just to knock out any rough edges before I take it over to the CNC. All of the cuts that are going to be holding my devices, I'm going 0.5 inches deep with my pockets. Now for the design element, I'm going 0.05 inches deep with the pockets, and that's just to hold the epoxy in it. And the CNC, it's a really cool tool. It takes a while to figure it out, but once you do, it's amazing the different designs you can make and how quickly you can make them. Now this cut took about 2 hours and 10 minutes for two device holders, and check out how clean all the cuts are. You just couldn't do this stuff by hand. So if you don't have a CNC in your shop, it's really worth it to get one. I always use down cut bits. That's all I use now because they give the cleanest cuts. So then I come over, I pull out my crosscut sled, trusty Mr. Sled, and I just cut these device holders in half to separate them and then get them ready for epoxy. For the epoxy, I'm using Total Boat 1:1 ratio, and this is I just started using this one and it works out pretty well. And I'm using pearl blue for the epoxy. I think that's going to look really cool because the walnut has a lot of light in it, and I want all the design elements to show using a nice dark blue. And I'm going to let the epoxy dry overnight, and I bring it inside the house because I don't leave the heat on in the shop when I'm not in there. costs way too much money. I usually let the epoxy sit for around 10 minutes just to let the bubbles rise. Then I hit it with the heat gun just to pop all those bubbles and let it dry for sanding. I added this drum sander to my shop about 6 months ago, and it's been a great addition. It really helps do all my rough sanding. It just takes a fraction of the time that I used to. So if you're able to get one of these, it's a good investment for your shop. Then I'm going to do all my finish sanding, going from down to 80 up to 220, just to get everything nice and smooth and make sure that epoxy is really crystal clear with no scratches. And then I just take it over to my router table, and I'm putting chamfers on the top and the bottom. I just like the way the chamfers looked on these. I think the chamfer really gives it a nice clean look. For the finish, I'm putting Odie's oil on. It's a really good high quality finish. It costs a little bit more than a cheap finish, but the end product is way worth it. So here's the finished product. One space for a Nintendo Switch, 2 tablets, 3 phones, and just a miscellaneous little section to put different items. And I like the way the color came out. It contrasts the wood very nicely. And I put a chamfer edge on here just to give it a nice little clean look. And I put feet on the bottom just to raise it off the table a little bit. So I think this came out good. Hopefully this is a good seller in the store. I'll see if it is. These are easy to make, and I can batch these out pretty quickly. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you can kind of see how many different pieces of equipment it takes to make the smallest little product. It's very evolved, but it's very rewarding, because at the end you got a unique piece that's one of a kind, with its grain, its color, different epoxy color, things like that. So I hope you got something from it, and I'll see you at the next one.